What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chuck Finley here with Let's Play Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic Colors Part 15. We are here in the wrap-up video that I will be doing, that I normally do, and I will be I will show off Supersonic that we got in Part 14 when I done Game Land up here. I beat Game Land in Part 14, and I was able to gain Supersonic because that's what you do because you can collect all the Chaos Emeralds there. And I will show off one level here in Tropical Resort. Really quickly, you can see what you have to do to make Supersonic turn on, and I talked about this in Part 14, but have to go to the this options satellite over here, and then you can either toggle Supersonic mode on or off. If you If you don't want to use Supersonic, you don't have to, but you know it is nice that it's added in there. And then all you have to do, typically like in old Sonic games, all you have to do, you can see Supersonic here on the menu. Actually moves around a lot faster, which is nice, especially if you're if you're just trying to go for all the S ranks. It's very nice that you can move around here a lot faster than Sonic does normally. But I'll be doing Tropical Resort Act 1 just to show this off. Supersonic acts exactly like he does in other Sonic games where Supersonic is available to play. I'll collect these rings up here. It'll definitely help me get Supersonic a little bit faster while in this level. But you gain 50 rings, and once you have 50 rings, you can the game will ask you, or will let you know that Supersonic is ready to use, and then all you have to do is just push the Wisp button. In this case, Z for the GameCube controller. If you're using the GameCube controller, you use the then you can use Supersonic. And what Supersonic, there's a lot of different things that Supersonic can and cannot do. He cannot use Wisp powers at all, so that does limit what he can do. On these trick ramps, he can bypass those immediately. And let me see. Oh, okay. I don't know why I keep losing the yellow wisp, the drill wisp through there. You can see there you can see the Chaos Emeralds there where the wisp, excuse me, where the wisp thing usually is. And then you just hit the Z button, and then the announcer will yell Supersonic, and then you can use Supersonic. He's a lot faster than normal Sonic. You can see what he does when he's on the rails. You have continuous boost while as Supersonic. You have the homing attack like usual, and on these rails you just go straight to amazing, and I believe you gain a lot more distance than you normally would if you were using if you were just doing it normally. If you weren't using Supersonic. Now I still can't seem to get a B. I may get an A here. No? Okay, well, that's actually my best 2 next rank that I've gotten while trying to do this. But anyway, so that's Supersonic. That just kind of gives you, that just kind of lets you know what he's like and what you have to, what you can and can't do with him. Now I'm going to go into trivia. I'm going to do Game Land first, and then I'll do the main game. I guess I'll do the trivia for Game Land first, and then I will do the trivia for Sonic Colors itself. Let me see. Alright, so what Robotnik says at the beginning is, "Welcome to Game Land, home of the ever-popular Sonic Simulator. Waste time with your pathetic friends in multiplayer mode." Alright, so Game Land, widely known as Sonic Simulator or the Sonic Sim, is the location of the Sonic Simulator multiplayer stages in Sonic Colors. It is available to play alone in single player or with friends in multiplayer. The stages are represented by the Chaos Emeralds, each of which sports 3 stages of its colors, totaling 21 stages. Designed in the style of retro arcade games, Game Land features 16-bit versions of each stage's main theme and holds several challenging obstacles best attempted cooperatively. Only Virtual Hedgehog and the Wheeze Me's are available. Alright, so the description for the Game Land is, The mode is unlocked by collecting special rings throughout the in-game stages. Unlocking them is optional and is selected on the main or on the menu screen. Gameland is divided into 7 worlds: Gameland 1, 2, or Gameland 1, Gameland 2, etc., with 3 acts for each Chaos Emerald. Each world represents a Chaos Emerald, which is collected at the end of the 3rd act of that world. Each world has a simple tiled layout and a solid background with floating shapes, the color of which depends on the color of the Chaos Emerald it represents. Each world features 16-bit versions of each stage's main theme. Gameland 1 has a 16-bit version of Tropical Resort. Act 1's theme. Gameland 2 has a 16-bit version of Sweet Mountain Act 1's theme, and so on. There are 3 different ways to play the Gameland. The first one option is the one-player option, means the player plays alone, switching between the 2 virtual hedgehogs at any time. The 1.5 player option means that the second player can drop in or out at any time with unlimited tries, which means it has unlimited lives. The final option, 2 player, means that 2 players play through the level together and have only share 2 lives between each other. In multiplayer mode, 2 players control virtual hedgehogs or Miis, depending on which, whatever you want to choose. Playing through the level cooperatively, there are also several gameplay mechanics not available in single-player mode. Assist allows one player to press the 2 or the Y button, depending on which if you're using the Wii remote, then you'd be pushing the 2 button, or if you were using a classic controller or a GameCube controller, you'd be pushing the Y button in order to turn into an invulnerable hovering orb that follows the other player. When both players use the same Wisp's color power simultaneously within a certain distance, they access a combined form in which they form a different, more powerful color power. After collecting all 7 Chaos Emeralds by playing all 21 levels in the Sonic Simulator, the Supersonic option becomes available in the Options menu. The DS version, Gameland, does not have a Sonic Simulator, but instead allows the player to play stages in time attack mode, race against the computer or friends via the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, and play special stages that the player has already completed. Okay, so now here's the trivia. If I can scroll down through, there's a lot of screenshots on this thing that I'm getting this information from. The Sonic Simulator was first leaked by Amazon's Japanese website, showing a picture of virtual hedgehogs running in a colorless world, but it was removed soon after. The music in this level is entirely 16-bit when a color power is needed, i.e. the yellow drill. A 16-bit version of Reach for the Stars plays. Some references to the classic stages are seen in the game. For example, in Gameland 3 Act 2, a section has platforms that move very similarly to that of Scrap Brain Zone, which is the 6th zone from Sonic the Hedgehog. The layout of that one area of the stage is also similar in that regard. Also, a certain level has a layout almost identical to that of the Spring Yard Zone, which was the 3rd zone from Sonic 1 as well. In some levels, there is a question mark capsule, which is actually a trap placed by Robotnik. If collected, a floating Robotnik head with a heart aura around it, around a heart aura will appear, shooting mines at the players periodically. In some cases, it holds 2 kinds of wisps, such as the yellow and cyan wisps. Your Mii wears a plush hedgehog body if you would choose to use the Miis. I didn't, so, hey. This is the only place in the game besides Asteroid Coaster where the sandworm appears. The theme of the Sonic Simulator is similar to the Egg Cerberus, Egg Genesis, and Egg Wyvern themes from Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. As the Sonic Simulator is the means by which the player obtains the Chaos Emeralds, it can be considered Sonic Colors parallel to the special stage. This only applies in the Wii version, as the DS version has actual special stages, which model the special stages from Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but the Sonic Colors versions take more of Sonic Rush's half-pipe special stages, which Dimps made Sonic Colors for the DS, and they also made Sonic Colors for the Sonic Rush for the DS, for the Nintendo DS, Sonic Rush, Sonic Rush Adventure, and Sonic Colors all have, well, at least Sonic Rush and Sonic Colors for the DS have the similar half-pipe design from Sonic, which debuted in Sonic 2. Alright, there are floating pink heart-shaped metals hidden in each of the acts, known as egg metals. Though they are akin to special rings, collecting these metals only gives a decent-sized points bonus and has no other effect on the gameplay. Depending on which kind of gameplay you're using, 1-player, 1.5 player, or 2-player, your Mii can be stuck in an endless spin dash. When you hover over at the Gameland zone in the Wii version, you may sometimes listen to Eggman's Robotnik clips as the game plant instead of Gameland. I guess that's just... Let me... No, I guess it's just, however you hear it, but to me it sounds like Gameland, but, hey. Anyway. Alright, so that's all for Gameland. So I'm going to be talking about Sonic Colors trivia now. Or I guess, information about the game. Sonic Colors is in Japan and Sonic Colors, Soniku Karazu, Soniku Karazu in Japan and North America, or Sonic Colors with an O-U-R-S instead of an O-R-S in Europe and Australia, is a game for the Nintendo Wii console and Nintendo DS. It was first announced on May 26, 2010 in a press release by Sega for Italy and included a teaser trailer along with it. In the video game, Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails, Sonic and Tails investigate the Dr. Eggman's incredible interstellar amusement park, where Robotnik admits to the public that he has turned over a new leaf and has made an amusement park for his misguided past deeds. Unfortunately, this turns out to be false, as Robotnik is actually capturing planets and kidnapping the natives of those planets, known as the alien races, the Wisps. With the power of the Wisps, Sonic goes through the planets, both using the power of the aliens and stopping Robotnik's plan. Let me see, I'll change, because I can change the music, I'll go to this one. I like this music. Development for this game. Sonic Colors came out on the Nintendo Wii and the Nintendo DS in late 2010, much like its predecessor Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Colors for the Wii seamlessly combines both 3D and classic 2D gameplay perspectives, while the Nintendo DS version takes full advantage of the console's dual screen, similar to the Sonic Rush series. The Wii version was developed by Sega and Sonic Team, where the DS version was developed by Sonic Team and DIMPS. The head supervisor was Takashi Izuki. Morio Kishimoto directed the Wii version of the game. Takayo Hayabayashi directed the DS version. Alright, so here's the plot for the game. The Wii version. There are two different plots for both versions, the Wii version and the DS version. The Nintendo version, the story starts with Sonic and Tails and in the amusement park before opening day. Tails wonders aloud why they were there, because it seems as if Robotnik is actually showing a sense of remorse of his past deeds. Sonic disagrees, certain that Robotnik's theme park is a part of a plot. They suddenly hear a commotion in spot Orbot and Cubot chasing two Wisps, one white and the other cyan. Neither Sonic nor Tails are sure what was going on, but they know that they have to save the Wisp. Suddenly, the cyan Wisp floats into Sonic, and with Sonic completely unaware of it, he turns into a laser and bounces around at an incredible speed. Tails is seen with a white Wisp modifying his Miles Electric, which first debuted in Sonic Unleashed, which acted as the main menu, where you could travel around to the different continents by using it. Until the White Wisp says something unintelligible, Tails is shown to be making a translator so that he can understand what the Wisp is saying. Sonic reaches Tails in his laser form, and then the cyan Wisp comes out of Sonic's body. Sonic tells Tails in amazement what just happened. The White Wisp tries proving that Sonic is right through gestures. The White Wisp tries proving that Sonic is right through gestures, but Sonic and Tails fail to understand. Sonic is from then on certain Robotnik is up to something. Further in Tropical Resort, the main part of Robotnik's incredible in part of Robotnik's part. Robotnik counts up to captured Wisp, but he needs more until Sonic appears. Robotnik tells Orbot to unleash the big boy called Rototron. Sonic trashes the robot easily and returns to Tails, who is fixing up the translator. The translator is finished, but it still has a few problems, including comical mistranslations. Not so comical, you know, but hey. Thanks to the translator, Sonic and Tails found out what the White Wisp is. The White Wisp is named Yacker, and he is part of a race called Wisps who live in a distant planet. Yacker's people are being kidnapped, and he is desperately trying to save them. Sonic agrees to free the Wisp. Meanwhile, as Orbot and Cubot pick up parts of the destroyed Big Boy, they couldn't find the arm of the robot, which had crashed into a machine leaking a purple fluid, which malfunctions. Robotnik's mind control ray later on in the game. Sonic reaches Sweet Mountain and spots a giant generator. Sonic decides to investigate it because it is glowing. A giant pirate ship shows up to guard the generator, only to be destroyed by Sonic. After destroying the pirate and his ship, Tails comes up to Sonic along with Yacker, who has given him more information. Robotnik is behind the capturing of the Wisps. The two friends then visit Starlight Carnival looking for Robotnik. Robotnik takes them by surprise and mind controls Tails while zapping him with a mind control ray. He tries to force Tails to fight Sonic, but Sonic refuses to fight him as Tails is still his friend. When Tails is ready to hurt Sonic, Robotnik runs out of power, so Tails comes back to his senses. The fleeing Robotnik reveals that he plans to mind control the whole world. Tails' translator reveals the energy that sustains the Wisps is called Hyper Go-On Power, and Robotnik is after that energy, trying to use it for his mind control beam. Also, Robotnik is using 5 generators to hold the theme park together. Lucky for Sonic, he had already broken 2 generators without even knowing that he had to break them. Sonic reaches Planet Wisp and then Aquarium Park and destroys the generators there. At Asteroid Coaster, Sonic and Tails find a factory of Wisps being drained of their Hyper Go-Ons and turned into Nega Wisps. Sonic destroys that factory, thinking that the Wisps will be changed back. He returns to Tropical Resort and celebrates his victory with Tails and the Wisps, believing Robotnik has been finally defeated. However, Robotnik still possessed the Hyper Go-On energy of the Nega Wisps, regardless of the generator's state. Robotnik then activates the mind control cannon, but the cannon malfunctions due to the robot arm that Sonic accidentally struck in the weapon with the park. Falling apart from the backlash, Robotnik vows to destroy Sonic instead. In Tropical Resort, Sonic and Tails feel an earthquake and head to Robotnik's space elevator to go back home. Unfortunately, both were stopped by Robotnik and his new mecha, the Egg Nega Wisp. Tails is unsure of their success, so Sonic shoves Tails in his space elevator and sends him back, leaving Sonic to fight Robotnik. The two fight once again, and finally, with the help of every type of Wisp, Sonic defeats Robotnik with the final colored blaster. A malfunctioning cannon creates a black hole that consumes the amusement park, and the defeated Robotnik, while even Sonic is unable to outrun a black hole. All of the Wisps use their energy to neutralize the black hole, save Sonic as he lies fainted. Yacker changes the Nega Wisp back to normal. Sonic wakes up back on Earth, breathing heavily and looking tired. Tails reprimands Sonic for pushing him into a space elevator, but thanked him for handling Robotnik all by himself. Yacker arrives and thanks them. The good news, Tails' Miles Electric is translating perfectly. Now the bad news, Yacker has to go, and Sonic and Tails part ways with the Wisps. The DS version of the game has the same scenario, but more brief and no jokes added. The difference is that the translator works perfectly in the DS version. After each world is beaten, Sonic unlocks missions for that planet, and his friends appear in it. Thus, after all Chaos Emeralds are collected from special stages, there is a special boss called Nega Mother Wisp. She's actually Yacker's mother, who is possessed by the negative Hyper Go-On energy. Sonic has no choice but to fight her in the form of Super Sonic. After fighting her, she is able to turn back into her normal form, Mother Wisp. Sonic found out that she is not only Yacker's mother, but the mother of all the Wisps and the creator of Planet Wisp. Robotnik captures the Mother Wisp before the cutscene. Hyper Go-On's charging, as it can be assumed the giant alien was her. At this point, Sonic had just cleared Aquarium Park. However, Robotnik does lose control of the Mother Wisp before Sonic clears the third mission in Asteroid Coaster, but he has already turned her into a Nega Wisp by then, and that's where the information here ends. Alright, so playable characters in this game: Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Sonic, the Virtual Hedgehog exclusively for co-op in the Game Land, and the Mii's exclusively for co-op in the Wii version. Non-playable characters: Robotnik, Tails, Yacker, Orbot, Cubot. Now, all of these characters I'm about to mention are for the DS version only. Knuckles the Echidna, Amy Rose, Silver the Hedgehog, Blaze the Cat, E123 Omega, Rouge the Bat, Shadow the Hedgehog, Charmy Bee, Vector the Crocodile, Espio the Chameleon, Cream the Rabbit, Cheese the Chow, Big the Cat, a Random Chow, Mother Wisp, and Nega Mother Wisp, all in the DS version. Egg Pawns for this game, enemies for this game are the Egg Pawn, different versions of the Egg Pawn, the E6 Spinner, the Buzz Bomber, the Burrowbot, the Mole, the Motobug, Big and Small, Crabmeat, Spiny, Orbonaut, Chopper, Jaws, Sandworm, Arrow Chaser, Giant Crabmeat, and Asteroid Coaster Sub-Boss. Voice actors. This game, not counting Sonic Free Riders, but this is the first game in the main series to feature the new English voice cast, with all voices except for Robotnik's being changed. I think I had mentioned that during part 1. If I didn't, I do apologize. I usually try to add that kind of stuff, but the new voice actors are Roger Craig Smith for Sonic, Kate Higgins for Tails. Yacker doesn't have a voice. Mike Pollock for Robotnik, who started in 2005 when the old voice actors were still voice acting the characters. Orbot was Kurt Thornton. Cubot is Wally Wingert. And the announcer is Roger Craig Smith. Alright, so DS exclusive characters. Knuckles is Travis Willingham. Blaze the Cat is Laura Bailey. Amy Rose, Cindy Robinson. Silver the Hedgehog, Quentin Flynn. Cream the Rabbit, Michelle Ruff. Big the Cat, Kyle Herbert. Vector the Crocodile, Keith Silverstein. Espio the Chameleon, Troy Baker. Charmy Bee, Colin O. Shaughnessy. Shadow the Hedgehog, Kirk Thornton. Rouge the Bat, Karen Strassman, and E123 Omega. Vic Mignogna. Alright, so the stages, except for special stage in the DS version, are accessed by the world map. The 8 stages listed below, challenge mode, where each act is played consecutively, and options menu can be selected from the world map. The Wii version, including boss fights, features 7 acts for each of the first 6 stages, while the 7th stage, Terminal Velocity, has only 3. In addition, the Game Land area serves as the game's special stage equivalent, containing 7 zones with 3 acts each, making a grand total of 66 stages to play. Rough overview for all of the levels. Tropical Resort, a wonderful space park with a view of Sonic's home planet. The visitors riding in their hover cars can enjoy shopping, sightseeing, and lots of fun in the luxurious paradise centered around a lush tropical vegetation and urban industrialism. This resort is just to relax and enjoy. This music's starting to get on my nerves now. We'll go to Aquarium Park. Sweet Mountain, a very sweet and joyous land comprised of different types of food, ranging from candies to hamburgers and even to popcorn. This planetoid is very distinct from the others in the entire landscape. The entire landscape is a mixture between military industrialism and a seemingly infinitely layered cake ground. Sweet Mountain is very beautiful with its candy cane grind rails to its towering burgers. Even its mechanical side is breathtaking. Additionally, one of the most beautiful features is its pinkish peach-orange sky. Starlight Carnival is a space armada set in the darkness of space, illuminated by the glowing neon lights that cover everything in sight. The space fleet comes out of wormholes, which transport it around space and bring its big festive light show around the dark space. The tour along pathways of light through the festive starships and across their illuminated, colorful decks is truly an amazing experience. Planet Wisp is the home planet of the Wisps. It was once a lush and harmless little planet in faraway space, but the evil Dr. Robotnik took the peaceful Wisp's home planet with a powerful tractor beam, and is currently being constructed into Planet Wisp is currently being constructed into a theme park. So this area is off limits to park goers. Planet Wisp is filled with very prominent alien vegetation with a beautiful Earth-like sky, but due to Robotnik's machinery, but due to robotic machinery, takes at least half of the planet, and lakes of toxic waste can be seen taking over the once clear waters, which I'm going to guess are the purple waters. Aquarium Park is a gorgeous and amazing Oriental-themed underwater aquarium. Visitors can enjoy the amazing city of pagodas and the countless pools and aquariums filled with all sorts of sea life and mechas. The Aquarium Park is a planet with a flooded surface, therefore it's made up of many underwater spheres holding cities and sea life combined. Its most comical and famous location is its sushi restaurant, the Bukkado Sushi, apparently the food is terrible. They have recently added fish to the menu, primarily an endangered and rare species. Asteroid Coaster is a theme park centered around wild and dangerous rides. The large rock planet is surrounded by a huge endless asteroid field that's also used for the countless roller coasters. These rides run through the asteroid field, vast space, and large planetoids filled with toxic sludge and dangerous curves, loops, and corkscrews, and spiky, draconic, skeletal roller coaster carts. The Astro Coaster is the wild, cool, and awesome world for the boyish love of danger, action, and extreme rides. Terminal Velocity is a haywire space speedway that takes place on a space elevator, a transportation tower connecting Sonic's homeworld to Robotnik's amusement park with extreme acceleration and velocity. After a system failure, it starts to crumble, leading chunks of the pathway ascending from out of place. Gameland is Robotnik's artificial planet of arcade games that houses its most popular game, the Sonic Simulator, in which players run through 21 levels with an optional PAL. Here the player can unlock the levels by collecting red rings from the other amusement parks to in turn finish the third act of each level, which gives the player a Chaos Emerald. Note: Gameland's levels act as special stages. If a set of 3 acts are completed, the player gets a Chaos Emerald at the end of the third. As with most Sonic games, collecting all 7 Chaos Emeralds awards the player with the ability to transform into Super Sonic, although it has to be enabled in the options menu. All the stages above, besides Gameland, once selected, will take the player to the stage-specific area. Each area has 6 acts and a boss selectable with 7 S ranks and 30 special rings to be earned. However, Terminal Velocity, being the final stage, has only 2 acts selectable plus the final boss with no special rings to collect. We'll just talk about the special stage for the DS version. The DS version has special stages in which, by completing each, a Chaos Emerald will be received. It is entirely similar to the special stages that were used in Sonic Rush, except instead of collecting rings, Sonic will have spheres of the same color. Instead of collecting rings, Sonic will have to collect colorful balls. Like in Sonic Heroes, the player needs to collect the spheres of the same colors at the top of the screen. The rainbow ones can be collected at any time and count as 2 spheres if they have a number on them. They count as the number they have. There are also checkered ones that if the player has collected all of them, a 10 sphere bonus will be received. Also, there is a special checkered sphere before the end of each round. There are 3 rounds, each one requiring a different sphere color, and if the player touches it, many required colorful spheres will roll from the one side to the other. If the player has to be careful, as touching any balls that aren't in the right color will shove them out of the course, disabling their collection. Alright, so the Wisps are power-ups used in the game which activate the hyper go-on power for the player to reach the alternate paths. Collect red rings and destroy enemies, or simply to proceed through the stage. White fills the boost gauge, allowing the player to activate the boost. Red is a DS exclusive, transforms the player into a fireball, which helps to destroy enemies and dash through obstacles. Orange allows the player to reach higher areas whilst transforming into a rocket. Yellow allows the player to drill underground, or is a torpedo mode. Green, Wii version exclusive, allows the player to transform into a hovercraft to float towards higher areas and dash through rings in order to gain speed. The Cyan allows players to transform into a laser in order to reach areas and destroy enemies at an extremely fast speed. Blue is a Wii exclusive as well, transforms hindering blocks into blue rings to access through the level. Pink is a Wii exclusive as well. Pink Wisps allow the player to stick onto vertical walls whilst curling into a spiked ball. The purple Frenzy Wisp is a Wii version exclusive. Purple transforms the player to a giant head with large fangs, allowing it to break through obstacles whilst chomping. The Violet Wisp, which is pretty much the same as the Purple Frenzy Wisp, transforms the player to a giant ball which sucks in enemies and obstacles. The music for this game, Takashi Izuki, this is a statement made by him. Since the game has an amusement park setting and a more fantastical visual style, they're trying to expand the usual cool Sonic sound and focus on making fun, up-tempo music that will really get players' blood pumping. The game has its own soundtrack called Vivid Sound X Hybrid Colors, produced by Wavemaster. It also consists of the main themes and the in-game level music. The theme song for the game, Reach for the Stars, sung by Jean-Paul Maclau from the band Cash Cash. The ending theme of the game is Speak With Your Heart, which is also sung by Cash Cash. Nintendo Power praised the music by saying it is annoying, catchy, and rubbish, which was what they liked about the music in Sonic. Games. Okay, that's kind of weird, but you know, hey. Alright, so this is the reception for the game. A preview of the official Nintendo Power Magazine gaming studio said that the action was fast, the levels were nice and long, and that there were loads of different routes available through each level. Their favorite wisp was the Drill Wisp. In the end, they mentioned that Sonic was at his best at mimicking Mario. Elements similar to 2010's hit game Super Mario Galaxy 2. They said that the game will be the equivalent of all daytime stages of Sonic Unleashed. IGN said that Sonic Colors might be the best Sonic game of this generation, praising its level design and fully packed action with vibrant colors. It was also nominated at the Best of E3 by IGN, but however it did not win. Sonic Colors was nominated for Best Platformer Game at Game Trailers E3 2010 Awards. Later, IGN had given their own review, giving it a very positive score of 8.5, which is awarded as the Editor's Choice Award. On IGN's behalf, on both DS and Wii, for the DS version, they had said that it is one of Sonic's best portable platformers, and it had a little classic touch in it. They said that upward slopes and pits were very frustrating, but the boss fights were great. They said that the levels were very fun, as it had great pacing, but the major problem was that the game had no checkpoints, and then the player would have to start from the beginning of the level, even if the player is in a boss fight. For the Wii version, they said that it is one of the most attractive looking games for the Wii that year because of its great animation. They also mentioned that it was the best that Sonic has ever looked. They said that the music was good for the huge amount of visual stages, from casino to parks and interstellar space areas. In addition, they were pleased in the fact that the cast of characters is greatly reduced. They noted that the game's platforming was good and was very similar to the platforming of the Mario series. They complained on the game having many extra competitions and made it frustrating. They said that it was very important to do the extra missions that made the game no fun anymore. They stated that the co-op wasn't very fun as it was frustrating, and they said that one screen is not enough for two Sonics. That's IGN for you. I'll say it's one of the best games in the world, but yet still give a low to average rating. Alright, so this is the reviews from different review sites. Reviews for the game were mostly positive, with a Metacritic ranking of 78 for the Wii version and 79 for the DS version, a game ranking score of 78.84% for the Wii version and 77.07% for the DS version. IGN gave both versions a score of 8.5 and an Editor's Choice Award, calling it the best Sonic game in 18 years, praising its gameplay, level design, and vivid graphics, while criticizing some difficulty spikes later in the game, as well as the two-player co-ops, stating one screen isn't enough for two hedgehogs. IGN also gave the Wii version the Quick Fix Award in their Best of 2010 awards. Famitsu gave the Wii version 34 out of 40, while the DS version scored 32 out of 40. InGamer gave the Wii game 86%, praising its gameplay and soundtrack, though criticizing some easy and rehashed bosses. Nintendo Power gave the Wii version of Sonic Colors 9 out of 10, praising the game as an unequivocal success, and gave the DS version 7.5 out of 10, criticizing the game's short length on the Nintendo Power Awards. Colors won Best Wii Graphics and was nominated for Best Wii Game of the Year. Official Nintendo Magazine gave the game 86% for the Wii version, 85% for the DS version. Wii Magazine, a German gaming magazine, gave the Wii version a 92% in the DS version, a 90% rating praising, excuse me, rating praising a remark saying there is a God and he's a Sonic fan. Joystick gave the game 4 out of 5 stars, saying the Sonic Colors succeeds where so many other Sonic games have failed. Eurogamer gave the Wii version 8 out of 10, calling it stupefyingly fast and utterly thrilling. GameSpot gave the Wii version an 8 out of 10, praising the game's level of design, sense of speed, and graphics, but criticizing its bare bones, poorly designed cooperative play. CNET Reviews gave the game 4 stars, praising that the game offers a mix of 3D action and classic Sonic side-scrolling with dazzling visuals and exhilarating platforming. 1UP gave the Wii version a B+, rank calling it the best 3D Sonic in ages. Wired gave the Wii version a 7 out of 10, praising its excellent music, colorful graphics, and fun and varied level design, while criticizing its somewhat twitchy jumping controls and the fact that the later levels are filled with cheap deaths. Game Trailers was more critical of the game, citing unresponsive controls and underused Wisp powers, giving the Wii version a 6.4, preferring the DS version with a score at 7.9. Games Radar gave the Wii version a 7 out of 10, praising the game's replayability while criticizing some horribly cheap deaths. Game Informer gave the Wii version a 7 flat score, criticizing the floaty physics and inconsistent difficulty, though it did award the DS version a score of 8.5, saying DIMPS continues its run of entertaining titles with Sonic Colors. That's reviewers for you, really can't stress them for sure. I don't see how they could say later on in the game, and I'm sure they would be talking about Planet Wisp, Aquarium Park, and Asteroid Coaster. Maybe they're just not good at video games. I don't know, but it's not being biased because this game definitely is one of my top 10 favorite Sonic games. But I didn't see too many cheap deaths. Maybe drowning in the water here in Aquarium Park, possibly having to time your jumps in Asteroid Coaster and the areas where you had to use the homing attack on the asteroids and the Asteroid Coaster, maybe, but that's very few and far between. And the drowning, you have an option to stay out of the water, grab the yellow wisp, go for the bubbles. The asteroids in Asteroid Coaster are not that difficult to learn. It's not that difficult to learn how to push the homing attack button and use the homing attack on the rocks. While some of these people said that this was one of the Eurogamers said it was stupefyingly fast and utterly thrilling, while other people said that praising the game's speed. This is definitely one of the slower Sonics of the 3D titles. He's got very slow startup, very slow continuous run. It takes a while for him to get up to speed, and even when he's up to speed, he's still not very fast. And Game Informer giving it a 7, criticizing floaty physics and inconsistent difficulty, and Wired criticizing somewhat twitchy jumping controls. That's, unless you're using a Wii remote, I could probably understand that, but if you use a classic controller or a normal Nintendo controller, which most people use, like I would say well over 80% of people use when they play this game, I've never had any trouble jumping. Maybe they're just talking about using the double jump, but that's not that difficult to learn, and you can learn how to do that in Tropical Resort before going on. But anyway, alright, so here's the trivia for the game. SA55's real name has been revealed as Orbot in this game. If a customer pre-ordered Sonic Colors at GameStop, the customer got a free hat with the look of Sonic's blue quills on their head. This game marks the first time Sonic is able to perform a double jump since Sonic R and Super Smash Bros. Brawl, if counted. This is the first game in the main series, Sonic R being a spin-off, to have Sonic using the double jump. Note that the double jump replaced the jump dash. However, the jump dash can be pulled off by boosting in midair when the boost gauge is empty. Wisps in the DS version are different than those in the Wii version, with the exception of the orange, white, yellow, and cyan wisps. They can also be used in different ways in each version. If the player repeatedly presses the jump button while in water, Sonic will keep jumping higher in the air, possibly the first time he can swim. This is currently the last Sonic game developed for the DS, as the handheld version of Sonic Generations is for the Nintendo 3DS. And the E3 demo, when Sonic would activate the drill power, the announcer would say spin, but in the final version of the game, he says drill also before activating the power of any wisps. The announcer would say color in the demo version, but in the final build, he didn't say anything until Sonic activated the power. This is the first time Sonic can perform a stomp attack on a handheld console, when Robotnik's mind control machine explodes, it hits the moon instead of the Earth. This is a direct reference to Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know what exactly reference they're talking about, unless something of Robotnik's hitting the moon, which the only reference there would be the Eclipse cannon hitting the moon instead of the Earth. I don't know. While the DS version of Sonic Colors uses Sonic Rush's gameplay engine, the trick system was removed and the homing attack is mapped to the jump button. This is the first main series 3D Sonic game where Sonic can transform into Super Sonic during the normal stages, though he cannot fight bosses. This is the first and so far only main series 3D Sonic game where Sonic fights the last boss with no need of a super form, and Robotnik serves as the final boss. An unused Robotnik voice clip reveals that the Wisp's Hyper Go-On energy is more powerful than Chaos energy. During one of Robotnik's announcements, he mentions a yellow car with license plates 1NOM155 is about to get hit by an asteroid. This could be a reference to Crazy Taxi, another Sega game, as one of the characters, Axel, drives a taxi with the same license plate. In the final cutscene of the Wii version, the red and violet wisps can be seen, even though they are DS exclusive. Similarly, the blue, pink, and green wisps are seen in the ending of the DS version, even though they are Wii exclusives. Also in the DS version, the opening cutscene accessible from the options menu shows all 10 types of wisps. This is, of course, due to the two versions sharing the same video cutscenes. Towards the end of the game, the Miles electric screen is shown earlier in the game. Tails says that the translations on there are in binary code, but the code shown on the device is in hexadecimal format. Tails translates. Tails may have switched it to a better code off screen. The bottom line of code translates to, if you can read this, UXFRE, a geek, which I guess if you can read this, you're a geek. Unlike the other games, Sonic doesn't need an extra life upon. Unlike the other games, Sonic doesn't get an extra life upon gaining 100 rings in the Wii version. In the DS version, however, after gaining 100 rings, the player earns an extra life. By achieving an S rank on any act, the player will earn 1 to 3 lives, depending on which rank you get. A, you get 1. S, you get 3. But in the Wii version, the player must reach for all the lives. On the DS version, they are automatically added instead, which is a lot easier. Sonic attacks the text while on the result screen using moves such as Sonic Boost and Stomp. An extra life may pop out. In the DS version, Cheese is missing his bow tie. The DS version uses some CG and cutscene footage from the Wii version, such as the opening, but still uses speech bubbles for characters in most cases. Sonic acts surprised that Robotnik captured an entire planet, even though he has already done this with the Little Planet in Sonic CD. During an act when Supersonic mode is activated, any Wisp's powers cannot be used except for the White Wisp. This is the first 3D Sonic game where the player starts a new game. The player is taken to the first stage immediately rather than showing a cutscene first or even saving a file. The DS version of this game takes the drowning tune out of Sonic Rush. In the cutscene after the credits to show what happens to Robotnik after the ending, Cubot says, "What's up with those things anyway?" However, the subtitles say, "What's up with those guys anyway?" In the back of the game box, in the US version, there's a text that says, "and preform new moves." It is supposed to say, "and perform new moves." Ironically, this is not a misspelling of any sort, but rather the wrong word. Also, the instruction manual both versions, Mega Wisp is accidentally misspelled as Mega Wisp. This game is one of the few games where the regular boss fights are against Robotnik's unmanned robots rather than Robotnik and a manned robot. This is the second main series game where any variation of the tornado doesn't make an appearance. The first would be Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, I believe. When Orbot installs a new voice chip for Cubot, he says the think bone's connected to the talk bone. The talk bones connected to the mouth bone. This is a reference to Dim Bones, a traditional song written by James Weldon Johnson. There's a typo in the DS version at the aquarium park. They spell aquarium as A-C-Q-U-A-R-I-U-M. It's actually spelled A-Q-U-A-R-I-U-M. Music's starting to bother me too. This is the first Sonic game in which none of the stages are on Earth. They're all on individual planets. The Wii version is the first main series Sonic game in which the Chaos Emeralds are not involved in the story. The game brings back some characteristics of the classic games, such as underwater access and pushing boxes. Most enemies are taken from classic games as well, such as Motobugs, Buzzers, Crab Meats, Choppers, and Egg Pawns. The Frenzy and Void Wisps are revealed as the Nega Wisps in a Wii version manual and in the final cutscene. According to a Nintendo magazine from Mexico named Club Nintendo, this game is considered as a spin-off title. However, this game is actually a main series title from the Sonic franchise. During a cutscene where Tails first translates Yacker, Sonic breaks the fourth wall while looking at the screen and saying that he's going to stick with aliens if that's okay with everyone. The different colored levels in Gameland show similarities to levels in the different areas, such as that the green levels appear similar to those in Tropical Resort. When Sonic runs, his fists are noticeably not closed when they're behind his back. Instead, they're left open, similar to his running animation in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, except when boosting, they remain closed. This was also repeated in Sonic Generations. Even though Robotnik says he's already has a revenge plan in the end of the game, we never get to learn what the plan was, as in Sonic Generations. He seems to abandon it in favor of the storyline in that game, which I won't spoil now. In the English version of Sonic Colors, Sonic makes it clear that he will call the Wisps aliens in the Japanese version of the game. However, Sonic always calls them by the correct name, Wisps. Some parts of Final Boss music sound similar to Endless Possibilities from Sonic Unleashed. Alright, so that's it. That's all the trivia and everything for the game. So, I really don't know what else to say. There's not much else to say, really. I would definitely say it's a good game, you know. Very beautiful. I've said this before, you know, I'll say it again. I'm very surprised that they could get such good graphics on the Wii. The Wii has notoriously been known to be behind power-wise what the PS3 and the Xbox 360 can handle graphics-wise. And still to make such a beautiful game, I'm very surprised. The music in this is very good. You know, I definitely like the music. I've already went into detail on that. I just talked about the reviewers. You really can't trust reviewers. You know, honestly, maybe just because I didn't have those problems, or I know how to overlook those problems. You know, I don't know. I didn't have any problems with the jumping, you know, or any cheap deaths. I guess you could say the angles when you're trying to go after the last Red Star Ring, and I believe it's Aquarium or Astro Coaster Act 1, when you have to ride around on those pulleys. Maybe you could call that a cheap death, and maybe a few times when you're not paying attention, you just fly off. In Astro Coaster, when you have to use the homing attack, but you're not paying attention, you know, that's player error. That's not something about the game. Floaty physics, you know, I can understand because you have to hold the jump button down a little bit longer to gain a little bit extra height, but the game tells you that. You know, you're supposed to look out for that. Again, player error, which tells me the guys that reviewed this game didn't know how to play video games. But, you know, it's enough. You know, I won't keep on with that. Definitely a good game. Again, not one of my top 10 favorite Sonic games, but it's definitely a game that I enjoy. Going after the Red Star Rings. The Red Star Rings are not actually quite as difficult as I thought they would be. While there are some very difficult ones, you know, mainly in Aquarium Park, they're not as bad as I thought they would be. While I don't like the idea of the Red Star Rings being in the game, it's still a nice thing for replay value. So it's not an overall bad thing, I guess, to happen in there. I don't think I ever showed off what this was. This is actually lets you just replay the credits again, so if you need some lives, you can always redo this again if you want to. I will not, however. I'm gonna go, but you know, that's it pretty much. So I thank you for watching. There won't be a challenge video because this is the wrap-up video. I will be doing Sonic Generations for the PS3 next. So until then, thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. And until Sonic Generations, later everyone.